AI in Action is brought to you by Alldus International, covering your business's staffing, consulting, and networking needs. Our host brings you the leading minds in AI, sharing their story, their success, and their advice. Focusing on fast-tracking you to the top, AI in Action cuts through the hype to help you kickstart your data science career. To listen to the latest AI in Action podcast, head over to www.alldus.com/podcast or subscribe via iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Podcasts.
Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Alldus podcast. I'm your host, Ben Sparks, and today we are continuing with our ServiceNow series, interviewing some of the best and brightest leaders and technical talent from across the ecosystem. Today we are very lucky to host Scott Zailer. Scott holds the position of VP for Product at a company called Bravium, an elite ServiceNow partner who have a very interesting product, best practice engine, which I'll let him talk more about, but is one of the main reasons that we connected with Scott initially. He's also had a non-linear career path, which we felt would be really interesting for our listeners to hear about. Scott's been kind enough to walk us through Bravium as a company, their product, go through his career, some of the key learns, and he's probably going to sort of touch on some good customer value best practice there as well. Scott, so welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
No worries, no worries. So obviously Bravium, for those that have not heard about the company, do you mind giving us a quick overview?
Bravium is it's a woman-owned small business based out of Rockville, Maryland, so in the DC area. It was actually started by my friend Christine Niesel and her husband Brian back in 2010. I think they always had this sort of entrepreneurial drive and spirit, and so they wanted to go out on their own and build a company. Then in 2014, they started focusing on ServiceNow and just recently made Elite Partner in the last year. And in fact, actually, Bravium is one of the very few small business elite partners in the world.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's a great achievement.
Thank you.
So your role, VP of Product, lots of people we've had on here range from CEO to technical. Let's talk about a VP of Product. Can you go over your role for me and some of the responsibilities you have within Bravium?
Sure. So Bravium it's a consulting company and it's a product company. So I run everything product. All the products that we create and manage are under my domain or my umbrella. I own development, sales, and promotions of Bravium's product suite. We currently have the best practice engine, which is sort of our flagship product, as you mentioned earlier. That's an automated code scanning tool that helps with technical governance and instance quality. We actually just released in December the Upgrade Assistant, which is a customization management tool that helps customers manage the amount of customizations they have, and as well as look forward at how an upgrade or patch will impact their instance.
Awesome. So as we mentioned before, you have probably a non-linear career, I think it's fair to say, which attracted me to your profile when I first saw you on LinkedIn. Let's talk a little bit about that and maybe give our listeners an overview of what that path has looked like for you.
Sure. So, I started off as a developer. My passion was in coding actually to begin with.
Nice.
And coming out of school, I worked at Accenture. Huge consulting company, right? I thought that was a great experience. I love the people there. I was there for 12 years and spent the large amount of my time working on SAP implementations, which is actually kind of ironic now, given that the ServiceNow CEO Bill McDermott was the former SAP CEO. So I've seen him speak for at both SAP conferences and now ServiceNow conferences.
Nice.
It's pretty great. But I really got a firsthand experience delivering results for customers and making an impact. At a certain point, I wanted to move on from consulting, and so I transitioned over to Capital One, which is pretty big in the DC area. And at Capital One, I got into product management. It was really cool to be on the industry side as opposed to the consulting side and seeing things more from a customer point of view. I feel like that really helped develop my perspective. I was at Capital One for a while. When I started talking to Christine, I knew she had started Bravium, and she had this new product that was gaining a lot of attention, and she just needed help. And so those conversations and some activity afterwards, eventually led to me coming to Bravium.
Nice. And looking back on that career, or your current career, I should say, what have been some of the highlights and tipping points along the way?
Yeah, so working in the DC area at Accenture, that is, there's a lot of federal work here, obviously, and so I've worked most of those 12 years with federal customers like Department of Agriculture, and the cool thing about working in government work is that the mission is to really help folks, and so we're working on projects that was directly impacting farmers' lives. It was incredible. That was huge for my career and my perspective. The other big sort of transition was, like you said earlier, moving from consulting to product management. Going back to my developer days, I've always really enjoyed creating products. But you combine that with product management and a whole new way to engage with customers, it was really a perfect fit for me. I felt like it was really the opportunity to be a little bit more creative in solutioning. And so now at Bravium, I get to work with these incredible companies and brands that we have as customers and impact a whole new mass amount of people. It's really super exciting and something I'm really passionate about.
Sounds very exciting indeed. And as we mentioned earlier, the podcast that we're doing here really kind of takes like a mentorship route as well. So we're trying to showcase individuals that are interested in paying their experience forward. I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but what would be some of the advice to your younger self if you could offer yourself that one snippet of advice again?
Yeah, I would really say, do something, make it happen. If you want to, if you're passionate about something, if you have a hobby, start something up on the side. I don't know that I necessarily believe in luck, but I think that you can go out and do things and you can generate your own luck. So, start the side hustle. You don't know where it will take you. I did that in starting to help Ryan and Christine, and here I am working with Bravium.
And talking about Bravium, so what was it about Bravium that made you want to join them? So you mentioned you had a friend was there, but I'm thinking, what was it about the actual company itself that really attracted you?
Yeah, so I've known Christine. Her and I went to school together, so I've known her for 20 years plus or minus, and we've kept in contact over the years. And so when I started helping her on the side, I was reminded of how great of a person she is to work with, and how passionate her and Ryan are about helping people, both their employees and their customers. Bravium really puts a lot into its culture, which is hard, right, these days with everyone being remote. But they really make sure that everyone feels appreciated and engaged. And that was a philosophy that I really shared with them. So when we started talking and getting serious about me coming over, it was kind of very natural for me to do it because we align on so much already. And so they asked me to come make this product line full time, and it just made a lot of sense for me.
So let's talk about the product. I think our listeners are probably really intrigued now as to the product and its history. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so the first product, Best Practice Engine, again, it's our flagship product. It's what we're known most about. It's the #1 rated store app. We've got a lot of great reviews from some awesome customers. And what it does is it's a platform quality and governance tool. And so it has this definition set behind the scenes, and it will automatically scan your instance to tell you where you're not following ServiceNow best practices. So it really checks to make sure that you're doing things the right way. And if you're not, it gives you reporting. It also has a real-time feature so that when developers are actually in the code developing, it'll provide them feedback as well. So it's really super powerful and provides a lot of value. The other tool that we just released, Upgrade Assistant, it's really more of a customization management tool. And so it helps you understand what your customizations are, but then also how those customizations will then impact your upgrades and your upgrade experience. And so we can help customers sort of plan ahead for that upgrade, since upgrades is such a big part of the sort of the ServiceNow process.
Nice. And what is the true value it brings to customers? You talked about upgrades, etc. But how do you position the product, and why should someone be bringing this to their business?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, our products are huge time savers. Whether it's best practice engines saving you time in code reviews, or finding potential issues that may come out in production, or even identifying security risks. We want to find those issues for you to save you time from fixing it and downtime. Upgrade assistance, the same thing. We want to save you time in the upgrade process, so that you can make your upgrades more seamless and more routine. By saving all this time, we really want to shift the focus from some of these mundane tasks that could take pretty expensive resources to do, to more business value added tasks that will help you and help your customers.
And I'm sure you've got a ton, but any use cases that stand out?
Yeah, I mean, we have a fantastic customer base. A lot of big global brands that are quite impressive, and a lot of them have very large teams, or maybe they've been on ServiceNow for quite a while and they've had different implementers in. They may feel there's an issue with their ServiceNow instance. Maybe the performance is slowing down, or maybe they're concerned about those security vulnerabilities, but they don't know how to get their arms around those issues. Best practice engine can come in. We can scan your instance, tell you what types of issues you have, what the priority is of those issues. So what needs to be fixed first and next. And we can tell you who those issues are assigned to, so who needs to take on the work. Furthermore, with the real-time scanning, as well as this sort of nightly scanning that we do, we'll stop additional technical debt from accruing, and so you can really stop the bleeding there. Meanwhile, with Upgrade Assistant, we'll help customers sort of proactively manage their customizations and try to stick to out of box as much as possible. And then it'll help them also understand what the impact of an upgrade is, so they can plan accordingly.
Scott, this has been great. I think you've given our listeners such a great overview of yourself, Bravium, and also the value you bring in to the market and ecosystem. So thanks very much for your time. Is there anything you'd like to add before we finish up?
Yeah, so we'll be at the digital event Knowledge 21. So definitely check us out, or check out our website, braviumconsulting.com and braviumlabs.com, where you can learn about our services and products. We've got new products coming out, and so we're really excited to continue to deliver value for the entire ServiceNow community. So thanks for having me, Ben.
No, pleasure. It sounds like an exciting time for you guys. Good luck with it.
AI in Action is brought to you by Alldus International, covering your business's staffing, consulting, and networking needs. Alldus offer an exec search program. Alldus can help you discover how data science and AI can transform your company. With our unrivaled network of C-suite executives and senior AI professionals, we offer retained search services across the US and Europe. Get the Alldus advantage. Become a member of the Alldus community and enjoy some of the following: AI meetups. Once a month, our community gathers to listen to some of the leading experts in the world of data science and AI. Our speakers come from all over the world, including Dublin, Boston, and Frankfurt. We also have our AI mentors. Our experts will provide mentoring to Alldus members. And don't forget our AI in Action podcast. Each week we have guests from all over the world talking us through their education, career, and more. Become an Alldus member and get the Alldus advantage. For more information and to sign up for our newsletter, log on to www.alldus.com. That's www.alldus.com. Alldus International, empowering through AI.